Oh, it looks good.
I gotta reload. Gotta reload time.
That poly jacket is dope
There we
too.
go. There we go. Easy's up in here. Hold on a second. Uh-oh, I don't hear you. Hold on 1 second, Easy. I think I might have you in a different channel or something. Where I have you? Mike. Cable A. That should be on blast, right? It's cable A. Hold on. That's cable A right there. Yeah, you should be good. Where you at? There we go. No? Got nothing. I got nothing. Hold on, so. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay.
It just took a minute. I had to go and enable the microphone for Zoom in my settings. All right, let me just try and set this up so. Or you could just give me a virtual background if you want. Whatever is easy. I haven't used my phone with my little setup yet. Usually I'm using the computer, but I wanted to have that for DCL.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't give you a virtual background. I don't think, right? I think you.
All good.
It's on the phone. I don't think you can do it. But
I did see for a second startup.
What's that?
I saw an option for that. It's when I signed in, but I didn't hit it. I just thought, I don't know, I probably should have. I was just trying to get it up and running.
Okay. So maybe it does have that option.
Virtual background. I just found it. I'm gonna see if I can find something cool.
On the phone?
I mean, I guess it'll just throw up a picture or something. What I'm looking for is maybe the Collector's Hub background or Easy Coin or something. Sorry about that. It was a little crazy. And back in time,
we get everybody in here and everything, doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
A few people in
There's
world,
always
a few people in the Gamers Hub, so everything's coming together. You know. Nice. Again, my stuff is always super low key, super relaxed. I mean, I'm never stressing. It's cool.
I'm basically the same. I prefer casual. Let's see if this works for a background. There it is.
See if my TV want to turn on, man. My TV don't want to turn on.
And then since it's doing that, I'm using a little car mount thing that I have for my.
Yeah.
Just have my phone stable, but
definitely know the deal.
I don't know if it. I guess it doesn't flip to landscape, or does it? How do I look? Do I look sideways to you?
No, you're in good shape.
Okay, because for me it's showing me sideways, but if it's good for you, it's good for me.
All right, cool. Make sure my audio is right, your audio is right, everybody's audio is right. All right, we're living the life. All right, cool. I'm gonna bring our picture into DCL. What up, everybody?
Nice. Hello.
Cool. Yeah. Let me get behind the desk proper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This is cool.
So what's happening, Easy, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Lots of things are happening. I've been pretty busy. Collector's Hub has just been sort of doing our soft launch, so getting definitely. Artists and collectors together.
I wanna take a walk through that with you too, because I always don't know what I'm doing. I'm lucky to know all the guys that are putting shit together in this space, so I can just have them on the show and be like, "Can you just onboard me to your product?" Thanks, man.
That is always super nice to know the people in the know, because I'm the same way,
same thing with Matthew. Matthew had to literally put me on set. He had to, this is what it is. And still after the show, it took me maybe a week before I started using it for real. And still to this day, I try to use it as much as I can, but I always forget and whatever. I'm not a great social media person. I like talking.
Yeah, it's amazing how much you can also cover in a conversation, when sometimes getting your ideas into a text is a bit harder. For me, I do like to write and stuff, but it really takes a lot of time for me to want to like write something good and share it. You know, maybe some pictures or whatever is a little easier, just like share a piece of art or whatever. But I used to do a lot on Scent, like posting, you know, many times a week, and I haven't lately, more just because I've been involved. I have my hands in a couple of projects, so it's keeping me busy. But I do plan on starting to post a little more over there when I can. I actually recorded a video blog in the car today that I'm hoping to post up over there. I used to do like ride along with Easy, and I just, when I'm driving, you know, just talk about whatever, talk about like what's happening in crypto, and then I just show people what, you know, the redwoods of California or driving up the coast, and people kind of liked it, so I'm trying to start that again.
Yeah, I forgot who I was watching. Somebody had I don't know if it was even somebody was like they I don't remember honestly I don't remember what this was from, but whoever it was, he had a farm, and he was like, I know you guys like to hear me when I talk when I'm just working on the farm. So the dude would just work on the farm, and then he would just talk and work on the farm, and I was like, cool. I sat and watched him on the farm for a little while. I forget the subject matter. I forget all, you know, everything about what he was doing. But I just was like, you know, this is pretty cool. So, you know, I was, you know, I seen he had a little cool little niche there. I was like, all right, I ain't mad at you, you know.
Yeah, no, it was, and I always, you know, for a long time I wanted to like do something, YouTube channel, or, you know, be doing something like that. I used to work in film, and I love production, and I love talking with people and being creative, but I just never kind of had the confidence to do it, I guess. And then through Scent, really, that's what gave me the confidence, is like a strong community, having support. Back then it was just like Joel was the only person making shows. I don't know if anybody else is making shows on Scent right now, because I haven't really seen any like video type stuff. He was doing a little show.
Do they have their own like video situation?
No, you can hopefully someday they'll have native, but you have to upload it to YouTube, and then you can embed a YouTube video in your post.
I've done that
so
before.
That's
I definitely like put my things up before.
Yeah, it's a super good outlet for that. I just same thing. I haven't been on a lot lately, but I hope to be posting more video stuff over there soon.
And I'm not even the best with uploading my shit to YouTube, man. I'm trying to tell you, I'm great at like this. You know, we can sit here and talk and have the conversation, but I kind of like it. Like, if you missed it, you missed it, man. Like,
dude, I've done like this was like the 4th time I shot a little video in the car, and because it's too time specific, I'm like talking about an event in a few days. If I don't get it uploaded that night and like a post written and it published, then I'm like, oh well, I missed that one. Like, I'll try again. yeah, for real. But yeah, a lot going on, man. You guys, I listened to the Token Smart podcast with you guys the other day, which was so cool. I was bugged out. I couldn't even believe that Rizzo named it like that. I was like, yo, look at this guy talking about my boot. That was cool though. And as everything's going on, huh? Meta Olympics, and what else you guys were talking about on that thing? It was pretty cool just listening to you guys kind of kick it about the space and the growth and the history, like, you know, like how you guys, because you know, remember, like, we're starting to. It's funny, when I started messing with DCL, the worlds were like this, like our worlds were over here, you know. So it'd be like, okay, you guys are over here doing your thing, and we're over here doing our thing, and it wasn't like really mixing, you know. And little by little, you know, we started being in similar communities, and now we're mixing. And to me, that's exactly what I thought it would be. But you start to get like a little bit worried in the beginning, like, are we really gonna mix? You know what I mean? I felt the same way, because there was so much potential in it, and there's such great people in both places. But to have that separate and it could be mixed is like the other thing. Like, it can, and it's working well. So I would hope that the integration gets deeper and deeper, and I think it is. I mean, it's just natural, you know. I'm super excited about that, because at first there was definitely more of like kind of 2 spheres. But there's so much interest, there's so much overlap in the interest and the music and the art and building and all, you know, so many great things going on. Like the whip is a perfect example of being able to cross worlds. I think the first time I ever crossed worlds, like specifically to do that, was Sugar Club from CV to Sugar Club to DCL. Right, that was like my first link, and I was like, oh, everything needs to be like this. Whoever has properties in both areas, there needs to be like, you know, kind of like local hub where you can pop in and find out what's going on, you know, over in CV and here in DCL and all kinds of stuff like that. It's awesome.
That's actually a good idea. Now, see, before, even when K did that, there was no hot links in DCL. So now you can do that. You could put a CV link and vice versa. So there's something to think about, actually, to, you know, maybe start doing that. You know, maybe I'll put a link to the, you know, to one of the builds in CV and stuff like that. You know, it doesn't bother me at all, you know.
It would be great to do to take Collectors Hub show, because we're going to be doing some of after events, like, you know, maybe curated gallery walk, or, you know, different, there's a handful of ideas, but it'd be great to go from there in Crypto Voxels and jump over to a gallery or something, little workshop in DCL. So that's something I'm 100% down for.
Yeah, definitely. So we should maybe figure that out. But I think there's like a, you know, it's just, there's, at this point, we're like, there's stuff to do, you know, there's like, you know, whether, you know, I got my place now with like some more things going on in it than before, you know, and then there's, you know, there's other builds going on and people working on stuff. I've been kind of like really on boss, like, you know, when is this casino gonna go live, man? Like, we trying to throw that party, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hell
yeah. You know, and just everything going on, you know, the whale community is like really kind of getting together, and we're all like, I don't know, you know, vibing more now. We be having parties and shit, you know. It's like COVID really kind of has, you know, as much as it's been a terrible thing, it's also brought a lot of us together in our space, because our space has not changed. You know what I'm saying? Like, our space didn't like, it's actually, you know, kind of in a sense got better, you know. But, you know, so we've starting to like do more, you know, and also the technology is the technology is going fast, so it's like you got that part going on too. So the things are moving forward quicker because people are around to work on it, you know. And then at the same time, we're all kind of like vibing, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it seems like you're saying, that during this COVID period, there has been a faster acceleration. I mean, that sort of happens naturally too, but it's outpaced like the previous organic growth, because a lot of us have had a lot more time to network, get to know each other, do, you know, go to each other's events, start doing projects and events together. Like the Meta Olympics. Yeah, the Meta Olympics is going to be another one that would be great to have a bunch of kind of cross-world stuff going on.
I'm gonna try to insert myself there somehow.
definitely that's good. That's gonna be some crazy be some craziness for sure.
Oh man. Well, yeah, I'm interested in that, and you know, and I don't know, I guess we can give a quick rundown of what the Meta Olympics is gonna be. I don't even know if we have a real rundown just yet, but
so I mean, I know maybe a little more than you at this point. I think it's 10 events, and there's a huge plot of parcels that are going to be built on. So right now, I mean, it's still really early, so there's the stuff has to be built, you know. I think there's a couple people that are maybe building some like jumping courses and stuff like that. Got to do a little jumping course practice the other morning. Went in to check out Franky Land.
Like, you know, if you had a build in Crypto Voxels, let's say that you had something going on, I don't know, treasure hunt. I always say treasure. Like, we kind of like default say treasure hunt, but I don't think I mean treasure hunt. But, you know, like some sort of puzzle situation where you had to then teleport over to here and then do a task over here, you know, and then you know, head back.
Ooh, if you could, I mean, it should be totally doable to have clues there. You have to come here and like claim a hidden POAP somewhere or something, and then with that in your wallet, you can continue the rest of the quest over in like Crypto Voxels or something. You know, no shot if he's not too busy, which I'm sure he is, would be the person to ask about that. He used to do, like, he did some quests back in the day that were pretty dope. I somehow missed them. But you would even get like a trophy at the end, and some of them, like, there's some, they're pretty cool. I think at least one of those builds is still up, where you like go into a giant computer and you have to like connect the right cables inside of it, and then you get clues and like pretty in depth.
Yeah, I could see something like that, you know, because we're getting to that point now. I think we're getting to the point of where we legitimately have like you know, enough people in our both communities now that are willing to work together. I think there was a thing there too for a little time. It was like No, not that we were against, but it was more like it took a lot to get to this place that we're at now, and not that we're not even there yet. We know we're not there yet, but you know what I'm saying.
It's like little footbridges is all we got.
A few bridges, but we're actually to the point of where people are showing up to events. Things are fun. Like I told Benz, man, when we had that soccer tournament, I was like, and Will will tell you, Will's here. Will tell you, like when that shit was first started, I was like, bullshit, that's gonna work, and it ended up turning out. So there's things that can be done now that I think that before I had no confidence in them being able to get that shit done. So
it's true. There was more of a kind of like the people that had been working more or invested more in crypto voxels. Like when I first came in, there was definitely kind of a like, not us versus them, but it was like, oh, well, we got to build up to like catch up to them or like do something cooler to like attract, because we're kind of trying to build where you're at.
And there's specific differences, in certain parts of the project. So, you're like, well, I like this project because it is different. And and now that I've been kind of like cross-versing, there's definite benefits to being in either or. Like I've been getting a straight up education over there in crypto art, and that's why I put all this stuff up in my place, because I'm like, I started understanding it a little bit better, being in the whale community, and there's a lot of artists there. So, I started like, okay, I just like would start walking around CV and just like, I don't know, spend hours looking at shit, just looking at people's shit, trying to understand who each artist was and what their significance was to the culture, essentially, because that's really what it is. It's like, yeah, there's pictures that are cool and stuff like that too, but it's a lot about who you are and your contributions to the culture. You know what I mean? And so,
absolutely,
I had to kind of like take all that information in order to kind of learn about what I wanted to do with my place. I still like, I'm like, yo, I got a place. You know what I'm saying? I got people that come here all the time. So let's jazz it up a little bit. And so, you're able to put up like actual NFTs on the wall, and then
that's awesome.
Red Nitrous was doing that actually. And so I reached out to Red. I'm like, yo, Red, like what, what is that? How do you mess with that? And he kind of helped me out a little bit, and then because it's in the coding and stuff like that, and so I went and did it, and then I realized what I could do with it, and then put my little twist on it, so
that's awesome. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff over in CV too. Like I'm always finding new stuff. Like if you just fly around for a while, you're bound. Exactly. Something catches your eye, you cruise down, you walk around, you're like, who is this? Like they are doing some crazy amazing stuff.
Exactly.
And it's really cool. So
I've spent time,
and there's there's a lot of great art now up in DCL too, like with the galleries, all that is amazing.
Yeah,
it's
those
really
galleries
nicely
over there
done.
where they have like the Maker's Place and all of them, Known Origin, and pretty much everybody's
that
there.
whole art week.
Yeah. So that's, and it looks like they want to do more with that. It was really cool to see they had they integrated Super Rare into our marketplace now. I don't know if you caught that, but
no, that's dope.
So if you go to the DCL marketplace now, they have a partners section, and you can buy stuff from Super Rare in Mana. So it's actually a really cool thing, and then that that marketplace is actually on the Samsung blockchain wallet now. So this is all kind of like stuff it's all coming together. The vision, like you might have not even known what the vision was, like me, like from the team. And I'm like, all right, I get it now. I see y'all. And then my man Open NFT, he was like, yo, y'all need to put Rareable up in there. And then he's like, talk, get us a contact, let's talk. So it seems like they're open to other projects, and possibly maybe we'll see Maker's Place in that same capacity in the partner section, and so on and so forth. Because it ain't gonna be just poly art,
Yeah, it makes sense, man. It makes a lot of sense to anybody that's got a gallery up and going and is attracting people there, it would make sense to be able to participate in the same like economy. Having that cross support throughout would be awesome. So I look forward to that.
Yeah, and it looks like they calculate the mana somehow. And I don't know how they gonna calculate it now. It's just mooning like crazy ever since that shit happened.
I bet. No, I did see a tweet, and maybe I just didn't read it like well enough, seeing that mana was like being able to use to buy the super rare art, and I was like, oh crap, I better get some more quick.
Yeah,
I did put in an order. I don't know if it went through because I had just spent all mine at the fashion show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you got wearables, you got mana. As me and Anorak were talking about that today. Because he's like, oh man, I didn't, same kind of thing. Like he might have swapped out into ETH or something like that. And I was like, you got wearables, man. You're all right. Yeah. Because one thing I know from the launch time, and I've been involved with hustling wearables since the beginning. Like, we do our best when it comes to like hustling wearables, when it's hot. So it doesn't matter, man. Like these dudes, they got crypto money. You gotta remember, it's like that chart. It really, you gotta have that like in the back of your mind. Like that chart. Where it's like, there's like a little circle, that's us, right? And then there's a bigger circle, that's ETH. There's a bigger circle, that's BTC, and then the larger crypto market. And it's like, that literally is it. So what happens is, these dudes, they make some money in their trades or whatever they're doing, right? And then it gets hot, and then they go find the next hot coin, and then they, that might be us at some point, right? And then they're like, oh wow, this mana coin is going crazy. I better get in. And they get in, they get a gang of it, and then they're like, what can I do with this? And then they're like, oh, this is this whole world going on in there, and they got clothes. They got clothes. I better get me some clothes. And literally, that's just how it goes. So then that's when you end up being the person like me with a huge bag of clothes. Like, yo, I got all the clothes you want from Mad Expensive.
Nice, yeah, totally. Yeah, no, and now you can get clothes, you can get art, right, on Super Rare. So as it opens up, maybe you'll be getting an NFT that a physical item is shipped to you too. Like, the future is wide open. So I definitely think mana has
and I think
long
that
legs.
Like my man Steve Wand and Logan, those guys are working on that concept of buying something in the physical world, and then they have you. You get the NFT with it. They got the digital clothes, and that kind of goes in like hand in hand with the Headspace, their website there. So it's pretty cool. Like people are coming up with cool ideas. I'm glad that we were able to do the community wearables, and then we were all like able to, like these dudes, like if 5 contracts went out or 5 licenses went out, 5 different ideas went out. You know what I'm saying? So like Digitables wants to do it like this, and their style was different. And then like Boss and them, they want to do it like this, and their style was different. And Talk Sam and them, they wanted to do it like this, and their style, and so on and so forth. So it's it's cool, man. I'm glad that it went that way, man, because I was a little bit worried about how things were gonna go. Everybody had these different ideas. I wasn't sure, and then it looked like it just ended up kind of like really working out. And then somebody said this recently, like, yo, look at how little amount of clothes really changed the whole styles of, like, everybody looks way different now, you know what I mean? Like a little bit, you know what I mean? And I'm wearing like some of my same ass clothes, but you throw this mink on this shit, holy shit, man, I'm like a motherfucking G, you know what I mean?
It's crazy because there is a lot of combinations and what everybody has in their wallet from other events and other stuff they've picked up. It's fun. I was bummed to miss the actual fashion show part of the fashion show, but I was glad that I got there and was able to snag something. But it's really fun just seeing what everybody's outfits are, and like you get to know somebody by their outfit for a while, and then they change it up. You're like, where's so and so? Oh shit, they've got a different head on now.
Yeah, like or whatever. That's just crazy. It really gets like that, because you can change your name too if you really want to. Like MK. I always joke with MK. MK's government name is Nominal. It's his original name tag was Nominal. So sometimes I like to just call him Nominal just because I know. It's like you only know somebody's whole name. You're like, hey, Francisco? Yeah. No, Francisco. I call you Francisco because I knew you when you was little. You know what I mean? That type thing.
It's so different, the wearable scene on DCL contrasted with crypto voxels.
Like, that was the other thing I was like really happy to get into, man. Like when I seen the vibes over there with the wearables, and everybody's so crazy with it, man. It's like so crazy shit. Fucking wacky going on. Like it's like, who is this shit that? Oh man, it's something like I love that piece or something like that. Instead, I'm a part of that project, and I'm maybe paraphrasing it, or whatever. But it was like the whole like art, like it was a wearable. It said something to the effect of like, I love that piece. I'm a part of that project.
Yeah. That's pretty genius. Yeah, there's so much crazy stuff over there. It's pretty fun, but it's, I like the way, I like both a lot. I like the way DCL has it more limited because you kind of know the quality's always going to be there, at least how it is now. There's a very high like level of consistency of quality, and then also more limited items means better value retention. Like it's a better investment per se. There's certain people that make wearables and crypto voxels that definitely, like, if you get in on the launch, you'd be able to make some money, or you have a dope item that's a 1 of 5 or a 1 of 1 or a 1 of 10, but you can also just make like hundreds. So it's very different.
I made a hat actually just recently, a CV hat, and I made it 1 of 50.
That's dope.
I'm gonna find ways to get those out. I might even give one away tonight. I just got them to like today or yesterday, something like that.
You sent me a shot. That's dope.
Yeah. So those are I learned how to make some voxels and stuff like that. So I made a couple and things.
That's fun too. It's not easy. Like it takes a while to get used to moving in that. Like the first time I made, because I do mostly plant voxels. I've done like a shirt wearable.
It's funny too, because you said that to me the other day. You're like, I gotta start working on some plants. I'm like, plants? Did you mean pants? And I was like, nah, he meant pants. Let me ask, pants? No, plants, dog. Like,
it's fun. So making like trees and bushes and like flowers and flower pots and all sorts of stuff. Because I come from a landscape design background and landscaping and horticulture, so I enjoy it, and it's cool. Like it was really, really different from like drawing plants to going in and making something in a 3D voxel way. And there's some big challenges because you've only got squares to work with. You can't like kind of go diagonal. It's really tricky, man.
It works your creativity. Because like the hat thing, right? It was like I wanted it to pop out like a new era, but it was hard to separate the C and the V. It was weird because you only had so many boxes to work with at the point you were putting it on the front of the hat. So
that's a small space.
What I had to do was like make one pop out more. So like the C pops out more than the V, and that's really what separated them because the color wasn't enough, So and it's just little things like that. You just do what makes sense and what works,
It blows me away what some people can make because there's some stuff in there, some of the sculptures and mega voxels especially. There you can make much larger. You have a lot more space and volume to work with, so you can make it bigger and then shrink it down and get a little more, curvilinear look. But it's tough, and then you can only fit a certain amount of mega voxels. It's like
32 by 32. It's 32, 32, and 32. So
that's the regular, and then the super vox is 132 by 132 by 132.
You gotta teach me
something like that.
Maybe I'll do something.
Yeah. I'll hit you up later with that. I've only done like a couple of experiments in there, and then of course I like. When you first start Magica voxels, it starts you off at 40 by 40 by 40.
Yeah.
So I didn't know you had to change it, and I made a few things in 40 and like maxed it out.
No.
So I tried. Yeah.
That was the one thing I was already hit from Decentraland. Was working with Blender and stuff like that. And you're limited to a certain amount of triangles. So that was the first thing I looked at was like, how big can this be? I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna have to go back. And so that was cool. And the first thing I made was that Bitcoin belt, and I made dope. 5 of those. I sent them to people who people that have looked out for me, and then I made the WWF style belt, and I just have those. I think it's like 10 of them. I just have them. They're up for pretty expensive because I don't necessarily want everybody to have them, So I just have them, and then now the hats will probably be more like prizes. And then I got the chanclas on the way. I don't know if you've seen those, but I got some flip-flops, some thong flip-flops. It's like a staple in Spanish culture, so like the chanclas.
Yeah, the chanclas.
And I don't know what's gonna be next. I'll do something else after that. That'll be funny too. I was funny. I was like, you know what? I might do a rocket pack. And there was so many rocket packs. There's like 100 rocket packs. You know, a lot of money did like 50 of them. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do a rocket pack. But I'm really, I don't know, the whole wearables in both worlds, in all worlds, I just think it's such a cool thing, and to be able to make your own, you know, because I come from like the whole how do you say, like other games that you have wearables, you know.
Right.
Regular
games.
Yeah,
and
you're like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they're always cool. So the thought of being able to make your own is like, really, huh? So
and own it and sell it or
there's the whole
whatever,
other there's the whole other part. Like that was you know, like every game, you know, I've been involved with, I've always, you know, I don't know about always, but you know, I like to look cool, you know, in the game. And so it has never been like a big deal for me to spend a couple extra dollars, but you know you're never gonna see. It's not like, nah, you're gonna get a return on that shit. You're just gonna it's like, all right, here's a couple dollars. I'm just gonna throw it right here in the
just
garbage.
Throw it.
You know, like, you know. And so now, you know, being able to kind of retain it and then have it like kind of hold a collector's value or artistic value or whatever it may be. It's a
and
whole game changer.
Value.
Yeah.
Because you get like. The first wearable I ever got was the likeness of my own head made for me by Piandex, who's an amazing wearable maker. Okay. He gifted me that, and that like actually got me. I mean, I knew about crypto voxels, so I had been there some, but that got me like into it. I was like, now I've got my own head in this world on like my avatar, so that kind of kickstarted it for me and got me super more into it.
Yeah. See, for me, I was like, I got, and that was. In the beginning, there was like this beta test, right? And it's like it was real simple, and they were just trying to like load test the world, and they gave out these masks. They're like these exclusive masks, whatever. So they had like the Jason mask and the Black Killer mask, and I was like, yo, those are so dope. I need a Black Killer mask. And then I reloaded for some reason or another, and I clicked the Jason mask, and they let me click that one too, and I was like, ooh. And so I ended up getting 2 masks out of that, and somebody got 12, and those masks are actually pretty valuable. So somebody got a whole, I forgot who it was. I'm sure it was HP, but you know, it's always HP, right? Something like that. It's always HP. But yeah, so like I got a few of them, whatever, and then that's kind of where everything started. I was like, I remember Will saying, those could be valuable one time, Frankie. And I'm like, we'll see, you know, and I hold on to them, you know. And then little by little, I started.
Are lit.
Yeah, you know. So we started realizing like, you know, this stuff is gonna actually hold up probably. And then, you know, I started like talking about it a little bit more. Like, yo, I think this stuff is really gonna actually be a thing, because I kept going to OpenSea. I used to spend a lot of time. I spend a lot of time on OpenSea, and you know, back then I was spending a lot. It's the same way I talked about doing like voxels, like. I was just trying to learn, so I was just spending a lot of time in OpenSea looking at shit. And so I would look at the numbers a lot, and I'm like, yo, the wearables are starting to be like more, they have more volume than like regular whole games. And that's when I started being crazy. Like, all right, hold on a second, man. Like, there's something here. And then I started, you know, kind of like, you know, thinking about it in the same way we were just talking about other games and shit like that. So, nah, this shit's going to hold up. So I started collecting them heavy. Like, I was like one of the first things, because I knew I had missed the boat with my amount of money with the land game. So I wasn't going to be a land flipper. You know what I'm saying? That's a guarantee. I wasn't going to be a land flipper, so I had to get something else, you know? So I was like,
I used to troll OpenSea for wearables and CV a lot too, and they would go for like, you'd find them for like 0.007 for something like cool, you know, maybe there's a bit more of them, but it was so cheap back then. Gas was like 9 cents, like, you know, so you're just scoring these little cool items for next to nothing. And it just made sense to me that, and some of these people are really good at what they're doing, and later it should have, you know, probably value as well as being a cool thing to have to throw on for a certain type of event or whatever. I mean, I kind of missed the land thing too. When I first went in, I was like, this is cool. Like, you know, I could have bought a couple parcels. I was like, I'll wait and see what happens, because there was like, it was all just a gray, empty space almost back then.
I remember, back then that shit was. I remember that was one of the things I was like, I don't know, man. They don't even got color. You know, I remember thinking that, like, they don't even got color over here. I don't know. And then one day I look over and it was like, land was unbuyable. I was like, whoa, that shit's expensive now, huh? They done came up. They got color and everything. You know what I mean? Shit was funny, man. Yeah, I mean, and that's what's great about being involved from the beginning of these projects. They're like, I don't know, like you've seen it all almost. I've seen the crazy Discord times. I bet you guys have had that. I haven't been involved in your Discord that much, but the crazy Discord times were like just beef. When I first came into this shit, man, these motherfuckers are going off on each other every day. Every day there was beef, and I was like so confused, and like I had just started, and I was like, I'm not from like even a computer really background, so I'm like, these dudes are crazy and they're mad smart and they're wilding out on each other. I was like, I better just shut the fuck up and sit in my corner. And I just sit there and watch until I had like started to understand enough to start to be like, all right, you guys are actually acting like a bunch of bitches. Stop doing it. You know what I mean? I was like, Steve just start jumping in the conversation. Like, you sounding like a bitch right now, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you sounding like somebody who's just crying about fucking not being good at whatever it is you know what I mean? Like, it's your fault actually now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I used to jump in the conversation, and I think that's kind of where I kind of like started. I started by like just kind of like because I ain't scared of nobody, that's for sure. So I was just like, yeah,
somebody's got to regulate.
Yeah. So I used to start jumping in. Yeah.
That's good. It was kind of a little bit
like
nasty
toxic
there a ways back. And it doesn't do anybody good.
Yeah, and it left the door open for weird people from other projects to jump in and try to sabotage. And I didn't realize it until later, but I realize now, like, I'm glad I kind of started doing that, was because there was a lot of people from other projects that would come in and try to sabotage, like almost like pour fuel on the fire to burn the whole place down type shit. You know what I mean?
Right, because they see competition. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame. I mean, of course, there's some people out there like that, but it is amazing how tight the community in general is. And like, there's some, little beef here and there, but then it, in general, often gets kind of worked out, because emotions run hot and people,
Yeah, you're dealing with your own money, it's
Yeah.
So, it does get, there's some level of like, you got a stake in it, but at the same time, like, I don't know, things have changed dramatically now when people are doing like more podcasts. There's more people talking to each other, on a voice situation as opposed to and like videos like this. But like, when like you put a personality to the profile, so it's not like just somebody under a pseudonym or whatever. Like, oh, my name is X, Y, and Z, and tomorrow I could be this guy, and tomorrow I could be that guy. And it was like, there's not that nonsense going on as much because you see these people, you know who they are, and now like you got a lot of us working together. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean,
I spend a lot of time with some of these guys, So now it's like it's a whole different relationship. You're like, all right, I actually know this person just the way they are.
And it makes it a lot easier to work with other projects when you actually have a little bit of a relationship there. And it's not just all about the product. Like maybe someone has like, that's a cool product, but you're a really cool person. So like, I want to work with you and like see how you can develop it and work together in ways. And that's why, I think there's so much explosive growth right now, partially is because people are really coming together.
Yeah. And now we're setting the tone. So, we get to set the tone. G-Ho had talked about that, about Axie. Just like when you have people from the past now that set the tone a certain way, now moving forward is contagious. It's like, okay, well, we want to, do it that way too, because that seems to has worked for those guys,
Yeah.
So,
it's lucky to be able to be kind of in the beginning and be able to help kind of push it towards a certain kind of tone, like the royalties, catching on for artist resales, just the general like vibe of working together to push each other, upstream and just grow as a whole versus everybody in their own little lane.
Because it's believe me, we're all gonna be small compared to businesses. When the businesses want to come up in here, we're we're gonna have to like conjoin together like them little fish in the,
ring up the wagons, boys.
Yeah, man, because if a business or businesses come up in here, man, it could be a whole exactly. It'll be a situation where we're gonna have to be there for each other because they can just do anything. Especially like in Decentraland, a business comes through and buys a gang of land. I mean, the one thing is good about that is that it'd be weird because they'd have to buy it from a bunch of different people.
Right.
Like, there's a couple huge whales. I mean, definitely there are a couple huge whales. but like a lot of the land is kind of broken up. So to be able to buy, what you would need maybe in order to do a huge game, you might need to buy it off a gang of people at this point,
Right.
And yeah,
Which is good.
Yeah. So they'll come up off of it, but first of all, they're gonna overpay for some of it, If they want this, I'll tell you what, they want this shit right here, they're gonna pay a lot, because I don't have no reason to sell. I'm doing fine. I'm enjoying myself. I have a bunch of different game plans for myself. If one fails, I got 15 other ones, so I ain't tripping. Like I'm like, yeah, you don't have to come up off some money. You want my land, that's for sure.
Yeah. No, I mean it'll be interesting to see when some, the first big mover comes in and tries to, start something up with all the leverage you could get with, buying into crypto. There's I imagine before too long we'll see some big ass corporations start pushing in,
And other people said like they could try to make their own, and I guess you could, but like your community will be your community and ours will be ours, I guess, so I think that's another thing that that holds up too is just like the way, again, what we were just talking about, like knowing each other, having a established already community. And hopefully we start to see some financial growth, because if we do, that'll be where everything changes. If the NFT market, which I kind of have this real like feeling that it is kind of going that way, that if the NFT market takes off the way the crypto market did, there could be a lot more financial growth here. Like with the people that exist, and then. It might be.
Hope so.
I mean, I hope so too. Obviously, I'm just saying, like, I'm looking at it more like I think so.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Like I had Whale Shark on for the first episode of Collectors Hub show, and he made a point about digital art in the past versus now, and how the NFT solves this problem of being able to give that piece of digital art a specific weight because of its proof of authenticity. It's on the blockchain, immutable, all these things, right? I do see massive growth at some point, and then it'll maybe some bigger businesses will like sponsor people and stuff like that. Like I was just joking around the other day, I was like, I need someone to like sponsor some headset sponsor, and I'll put a like tattoo on my avatar because I'm using their headset or something. And I was kind of joking, but then I was like, oh, that could probably happen before
that's actually
long,
could be a thing. Yeah, I mean, like exactly what you're saying. Like you can make, let's say the company mints X amount of things with their logo on it, and then they're like, all right, we want to sponsor 30 influential avatars. Let's call them avatars, and not necessarily the user. And so like, all right, cool. Then you wear like a badge. You're like, all right, cool. I got my normal wearables. I think what is it, 7 now you can wear in CV?
Yeah, it's got to go up. Hopefully that'll happen soon.
Mm-hmm. Well, whatever the case. So now one of your options is now just a logo. It's almost like wearing your logo on the basketball jersey,
Yeah.
So.
I mean, maybe you have, exactly, like a logo kind of patch you could have that is representing whatever business it is that's sponsoring you in what way, or you have a gallery and signage up, saying whoever, whatever.
And then you can do the same on land as well. I mean, you can easily it's more easy on land because there can be a whole damn picture and all that, So that's different, like, and that's available if you want to advertise your business on the side of my building, man. That's available.
Yeah.
We can do that one.
And there's the whole billboards project in crypto voxels too, where you can buy ad space on big old billboards that can be like scannable AR interactive, art or whatever. I mean, you could put whatever ad you want up. You just rent the space there, So it's definitely there's options for businesses to kind of come in and be able to not just take over, but use what we're building, to their benefit too, which would be, I think, the smart way to do it.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of different things that can happen, and especially like with some real smart devs, they could do a lot more creative things with this stuff. Like Bence was talking about doing some sort of like, I don't know if you saw the Infinity engine, where you like got on a train It's like on one parcel, but you got on a train. The train start going places, and the scenes start going like this. So you think you're going, you know. So you think you're moving, you know. And he's trying to work with that kind of concept to build like, so the situation is around you now, and you think it's going, you know. And
that would be so cool.
Yeah, and like I went to I spent a little time with James from the Decentraland University, because me and Red Nitrous are supposed to put together this like project, right? And so he was showing me some of the capabilities over there, and it was really cool. He set this like he set up this like TV right on the wall, and he was showing Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I think it was the older one, right? And so the movie's going on, and it's got the sound, and you're like, okay, cool, that's, you know, sounds good. And then boom, everything turns black. The stars are above you. There's a thing in the middle of the room, and then there's like it was like it threw me like it was. I can't even explain. It messed my senses for a second. I was like, oh, and I was just like, I needed like kind of like, it's like when they cut the lights off in the room, you're like just like feeling the walls and stuff, you know.
Yeah,
it was kind of like that. It was like I was like, okay, this is a GLB. That's still the ceiling. Okay, now I get it. Okay, I see what's going on. But for a second, it just shocked my senses to make me think that I was like in that, you know. And then it really kind of gives you an idea of what's actually possible, you know, because if you took that and then extended that into like something bigger, a bigger idea, but you know, using the same space, it's like, okay, you could probably get busy.
I mean, you know, that's super exciting, because to be able to have that like physical response, you know, to something that doesn't happen. Like, I mean, yeah, if you're in a movie theater, you know, you can get that and stuff, but like at home, not so much. So to be able to go in world and be that kind
you know, you got to think about it like it was like a GLB or a model, 3D model of a UFO. But what if that UFO was moving? It was actually part of what was going on in the movie.
And,
it would have, and it was just like immediately I could see what the implications of that was, and I was like, ooh, you know, and you know,
nice.
You know, somebody like James, who was that like a little like pretty advanced with the coding and you know and modeling. You're like, okay, I see what can happen here, because that's just an example. That's an example of what can be done in the classroom setting over there in Decentraland University. So I was like, all right, man, like I'm vibing with you now. You know what I'm saying?
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. And there's this like, you know, it's more as you go along, like as you like learn what can be done with this SDK and the modeling and stuff like that. It's only limited to your imagination at that point, you know. So you know, like almost like when I seen it, I was like, I think I could think of like 400 things right now off the top of my head that I could do with that technology. Just what you just showed me right there, you know. But there's probably more that can be done with clicks and you know, blah blah blah, you know. So
it's amazing. Some of the like all of a sudden your head's just like boom, and you're like, oh yeah, that's a whole nother realm of untapped possibilities. Because that's one of the coolest thing about the metaverse is pretty much just limited to our imagination and a little bit to the tools that people are creating now to fulfill that like farthest reach of what you can imagine making kind of possible there. It's really dope.
yeah, definitely, man. So yeah, I mean, you know, the where we're going is, I think, the right place. And the more I see mad different articles, and I see like a lot of I still watch a lot of these crypto videos. Like I feel like it's kind of like my news in the morning, you know, or something.
Yeah.
But like, and I like to, I don't know, it's like you check the temperature of the crypto world, you know, like what do they check? What are they talking about? Where they at? And I keep that. Now you keep hearing NFT. Now you keep hearing blockchain gaming. And the little by little, you keep hearing that more and more and more. You know, it's that like collective consciousness. You know.
Yeah.
After a while, you know, it's like the, you know, something tips over the edge, and everybody knows about it now. You know. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. That's getting close, because it's true. It used to, you know, any kind of crypto talk was generally just financial, talking about blockchains and, you know, maybe more recently the DeFi and the, you know, all that stuff. But really,
and like bad talking Ethereum, like, you know, like you know, like they get like tribal over the different coins, and it's weird when you talk about people who don't use it. You know, so people who don't use it have a feeling about one or the other. Like how you even feel anyway when you don't use it? You never written a line of code, but you feel a certain way. What is that? That's not even a thing. You know, like, you know, and it's, you know, I feel the same way about people that feel any kind of way about any of our worlds. It's like, you've never written a line of code in it, so you don't know nothing about it, you know? And that's what I learned when I wrote my first line of code. Oh, wow, I don't know shit. Wow, and I'm probably not going to know shit for a while, you know? You know, I still don't know shit. It's still, you know, so much more that I can do, you know, with the coding side of it, and then still I can learn a lot more on the side of 3D modeling. But there's only so many hours in a day. You know, if I'm trying to organize interviews with people like yourself and do events with Maddie and start a news network with Open NFT and Clark Kent and do this thing with Red Nitrous that we're going to put together there. It's like, I've already said enough for a week's amount of work. And then not to mention when Toon hits me on the phone or whatever, hits me on the message, like, yo, Frank, you want to, you know, do the video for this event? I'm like, yeah, you know, I definitely want to do that. You know, so, you know, there's a lot going on that it's hard for me to just focus. It's a little hard. Yeah. I joke all the time, like, I need like the Jamie, you know, that character, like the character that like just does the stuff for me, so I can just be on the camera and then, you know, and then, like, get back to like a regular life.
I commend you for learning coding. I mean, I've only tried at the very like base levels, and it was like, okay, I don't have enough time to really focus to learn it. So
that
I'm
was
hoping
the lucky part is I did have enough time, so that was cool,
you know? But that's awesome.
And I had the luxury of like being cool with HP, and HP was just like extremely helpful. You know, like, you know, walked me through shit sometimes even like screen share with me on the Zoom calls and shit like that. He just seen that I had like the like I had, I don't know, the initiative to want to do it. Yeah. So he's like, all right, let me help this kid out, because I was like a struggle, like you know, like a starving like little thing, you know, the animal in the woods. He's like, oh, this thing's gonna die out here, man. This is, you know what I mean?
Nice. That's dope, though. I mean, that's another one of the amazing things about this community. You've got people that are like super amazing at what they do. Like busy, but they'll still take people under their wing and be like, well, you know, I wanna help people get in and like make the best of what abilities they have. It happens every day in our community. It's really cool.
And as you know, Matthew had mentioned that like people are willing to work with each other in this, like, you know, even people like Matthew, you know what I'm saying, who like he didn't need to do the interview when he did, you know. I was like nobody, you know, and he still did it with me, and you know, helped me out. I learned about Scent. And then, you know, I think I learned about who Matthew was after I did the interview with him. You know what I'm saying? I did because I was doing like a conference, and I met him there, and I was like, yo, come talk with me or whatever. And then, you know, it was like I learned more about him after the fact than probably when I was speaking with him. You know, and then I would say that for a few of my guests, you know, like definitely, you know.
Matthew's pretty amazing. He got me on Scent basically. Like I found it sort of randomly. He was the first one that like kind of caught me there, and he was just working with them kind of casually back then, or he had just sort of like been on the team, and he was kind of doing the like social outreach stuff. And you know, I got on. I was never into social media before. Scent was the only social media I did up until very recently, and then I started like Twitter and shit because I had.
It's so funny to see how many people they started in Discord with social media, and then went on to social media, and it was like, you know, like you got the like Anorak would be like DCL Anorak on social media, Ball same thing, you know what I'm saying? Like they wasn't really doing social media before that shit. They was like, man, you know, and then they, you know, it's like mandatory. I tell my friends sometimes that, you know, I try to get into this world, and I'm like, yo, you gotta get on Twitter, dog. And they're like, man, I don't fuck with Twitter. I'm like, I know it don't fuck with you, but you need to, you know, get your ass on there and, you know, check it out, because that's where the information is. That's where the people that that are in the crypto world, they operate on Twitter. So as much as we want to operate on the Discord, like I remember listening to a long time. It was actually really it was something that was real smart. I was listening to Carl Fravel, who's he was the teacher at Decentraland University, right? And he was talking about how DCL's community was like robust in Discord, but we had not, at that point, we had yet to bring it outside of Discord. So we had all these really intelligent people, all these talented people, all this shit, it was in Discord. So you would walk, and this is when it was like grass outside, like in Decentraland. This is grass and grass and grass and grid and grass. You know what I mean? So and so you would walk through Decentraland and be like, this is bullshit, you know. And then, but if you went into that Discord, we're all kicking around ideas. People are learning how to code. People are learning how to use Blender. So it was like this kind of thing that had to happen first. But what was second was like, all right, now we got to take our asses outside. You know what I'm saying? For us, outside is Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, let's go out to the regular world now and see what's up. You know, I really think it's important.
Same here. I mean, it is mandatory if you want to like interact with more people than just a core group of a project. Exactly. You have to start doing that at some point. You know,
and you want to see businesses and have them see you that too. You know, because there's the element. You know, there's an element of a financial like situation here. So like, you know, you got to kind of be real with yourself too. Like, all right, you know, let's bring this shit outside. Let's show these people what we've been doing. You won't work on something this many hours to not get paid? No, absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Like, absolutely not. Yeah, my bad. I'm trying to like a little bit look at the chat too. I mean, like
all good, bro. We could be getting like questions coming in and all sorts of stuff. Who knows? I've seen like. Because I have DCL here on my computer, but then I don't want to like look over to it too much. There's people hanging out, and then I'm sure because I've been seeing like all these little dings on my phone roll down, so like people are tweeting and like I mean it's going on.
It's a beautiful thing, yeah. You know, it's like again, it's these, you know, it's you're bringing people into the culture. You know what I'm saying? We are, and everybody is, you know, Maddie's wilding right now. He got his Christmas outfit with the fucking virtual hair, whatever, the neural hair.
That neural hair was sold out by the time I got on the shit. I might have had to go for that. I'm gonna be real. I was so happy to see that do well, because that, like, I wasn't that enthusiastic. I wasn't that pumped up about their stuff, and he put that hair out, and I was like, Dennis, you motherfucking murdered that, dog. That shit is crazy. I mean, cool. I really liked the like mining gear setup too. Like,
that's
if
cool.
I just had
because I had spoke with those guys.
I'd be like, all that. You know, just for playing that game.
That's what I'm saying, like, because that game, I think, is gonna be that game got legs, man. Because what they're gonna do is they're gonna have the meteors drop on like different parts of in Decentraland all over the place. So
I did that. I played that on the like drop day or whatever. It was really cool. Yeah, I think it's the way you like bring back the materials, and then you can like mint a wearable and stuff at certain like that little minting.
That's what I'm saying. And again, like that's the whole thing about like having like, all right, this is for a different thing. Like, okay, you know, this wearable is like you achieve this wearable. You know what I'm saying? So like everybody that bought it kind of like you got a deal there, because that's not going to be something that's you can just buy anymore. That's done now. You know, the Decentraland has a few of them, and I don't know what they're going to do with theirs, but you know what I'm saying? Like, basically that concept is done of being able to buy those wearables and have that extra skills. You know, so you're like,
you got to put in time now.
Exactly.
That's
now you
really
got to work for it. You know, so it's again, like, these are really, you know, early concepts about how to kind of go about, you know, I don't know how to go about acquiring wearables, or what the value proposition is with them. You know what I mean? Like I have a wearable that I definitely want to put out, and you know, so I've been kind of like campaigning a little bit, like, you know, sign my license. You know what I'm saying? DCLT. You know. But when, you know, hopefully when the time comes, you know, my proposition probably wouldn't be, you know, obviously there's nothing to work for here. It's not like I'm going to have y'all, whoever run up the stairs 15 times and get to the top floor and back down to the bottom floor first. You know, like, we ain't doing that. You know, it's going to be, you know, probably something that has to do with money. But I'm going to probably try to make it worth your while to even, you know, be interacting with what I'm trying to put together, you know. So, you know, it's cool, you know. Everybody has their own ideas, and I'm liking it, you know.
And there's like in CV, one of the No Shot who had made those quests. So he makes wearables. His shoes are most known.
Yeah.
So what he wants to do, and there's like an NFT ticket of authenticity that comes with it. So somehow that it could possibly give you powers over others that don't have the shoes in his future quests. Like, they may somehow benefit you like make you, I don't know, maybe you skip a level and you start closer, or maybe they somehow give you extra clues, or I don't know exactly how, but that's his idea, is like if you have a couple of pairs, like that would even up your power more. So it's really interesting ways to kind of integrate wearables in different ways, and gaming and style and all of it. It's cool.
And like Sugar has like the VIP shit, like he can set it up where you can like be a VIP. I just got my first VIP thing. It's upstairs actually. It's being displayed. The Sugar, the one that Open NFT did, and like I got that thing, so now I can get into the VIP. But I was like, damn, I'm not a VIP. Like I done did 10 interviews with this dude. Like, can you send me a VIP?
I know.
I was so happy that when I seen the Open that did it. Open's my homie, you know. So like I was like, you know what? Let me grab that. Open made that, and then you know, it all worked out. You know, me and Open are gonna be releasing a crypto art piece tomorrow. That he did like with my name on it, and so it's pretty cool. He came to me with that concept. I didn't like campaign for that one at all, but.
That's awesome.
Like I said, I was super humbled by that. It's cool. We put it together. He kind of like asked me a bunch of questions about like stuff that I like, or things that about whatever, you know, things he already knew too, you know, and then kind of integrated into it. So it's super cool.
That sounds cool. I love any type of collaborative stuff. It's just super fun. It's always a little different. So it's really cool. Yeah. I had to have the Sugar VIP. You know, I was like, I'm not gonna get that.
And then that was tough. Like the first time I got to use it was the Space Painter thing, and I wasn't able to like really go up there because I went And then
same here.
I went. Did I get? No, I don't think I've still been there since he kind of fixed it, because he had fixed it.
I got to get back in there too.
It was just crazy. Like a timing thing.
So busy.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was like I went there that one day. It was funny because I went there early and I was by myself. And I'm like, yo, no way he can have a party tonight. Like this shit is.
I was trying to load in too.
Talking to me about that, And I was like, I went earlier that day, and I was like, yo, there's no way he's gonna have a party here. You know, just because like I could barely even do it with just myself. You know, And I was like, ugh. But I had that same issue here actually. I had this place like earlier in the week. I had like mostly gifts on the wall. And I realized I can't have mostly gifts on the wall. I had to have a certain amount of still pictures in order to make this place to where like it'll load correctly, and you know, whatever. And like I love my GIF art. I definitely do. You know, some people. I was talking to somebody recently. I think it was Toasted, and he was like, I don't like GIF art, and I was like, it's cool because it's like, you know, you don't like GIF art, but I do. You know, but at the same time. Now I have to kind of go out and get some stills, man. I actually got one real good still recently. The Connie piece is upstairs.
Nice.
And you know, I was lucky enough to get that piece. But I'm gonna try to get some more stills so I can kind of swap things. I like to continue. You know what I'm saying? When I find something or a person that I'm you know, like the other day, I think Chafelman, I think his name is. He had made a piece, a whale piece. And I thought that shit was cool. So I got that piece. It was just like a couple of whales. It wasn't that expensive. So, you know, like to me, it's not about, you know, how expensive or not it is. It's more about like the person, the relationship, and if I see value into that person going forward as well, you know. So it's like a lot of things that are.
A lot of the time, you can get like cool art from people that are starting, that are talented, and maybe even your friends. Like, it's really cool. I've gotten a lot, you know, most of my pieces are like basically my friends that I do actually like what they do. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. And you're a bro and it's affordable. Like maybe if like anytime I sell a piece, I just directly go, and I already have like a few that I've been waiting to get, and I'm like, that's from you, that from you, you know. So it's funny. It just all goes back and around, but at some point, it's gonna build, you know. I mean, for some people, it's booming, which is amazing. It's great to see people like really getting success, being able to be full-time artists. You know, it's cool for sure.
It's you know, it's something I didn't see the value early when I first started. It was funny. I was showing my cousin around like the metaverse, like not just DCL or CV, just like the metaverse, you know, everything. Yeah. And when I showed him Super Rare and those kind of platforms, he was completely understanding that. He's like, I don't get this shit that you're showing me over here, but these fucking art shit, dog. And then I was like, man, I don't understand that shit, man. Let's move on. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, nah, man, we're gonna stay here for a little bit. And he's like flipping through Super Rare and shit. and it was, you know, it was like he caught on to that first, you know. So I kind of put that in the back of my head, but kept it moving and kept doing what I was doing. And then, you know, later on, after really kind of hanging out with Alegria a lot more and with you guys and, you know, the whale community. And the next thing I know, I'm like, okay, now I'm understanding. And like I said, I spent a good amount of time just being in CV, you know, after going to the whip a bunch of times and then being like, all right, let me just be here to try to get it, you know, because I wasn't getting it. So I was just walking around CV just like why did Whale Shark buy all this shit and then give all these people, you know, this space? Like, you know, all right, now I gotta try to understand this, you know. So it's kind of like it's the same thing like learning coding. You know, it was literally the same exact thing actually, except for I didn't have to do nothing but stand there, you know, as opposed to like, I had to, like, you know, like learn the coding. You know? Yeah. Just, one thing is logic and another thing is like subjective, you know.
It's funny because I've had a few people that, you know that I'm into the crypto art, and so sometimes they kind of ask about it and they're interested, but they don't quite get it, or they're like, well, yeah, but anybody, I mean, I can just take a screinshot if I want to look at it. And I'm like, okay, you're not getting it yet. We'll go deeper at some point or whatever. But then if I show them, like, I have a Josie shirt, if I show them like Art Vive on that, and then like the dollar bill starts shredding and all that, then they're like, oh, holy, like, what? Like, how is that possible? That's, you know, when you start introducing like extra layers of AR, and like, then they start seeing like, oh, it's a lot more than just what's on the screen. There's a lot more to it. Like, and for some people, that's the authenticity and other things. And some people, it's interactive.
Easy was one of the things that hit me was, I think when he was talking to Whale, when he was talking about, like, think about what's going to happen like 15 years down the road, right? When everybody has TVs everywhere, screens everywhere. They're going to be thinner than what we have now, lighter, you know, painted on the wall, whatever the fuck they are. And what do you think they're going to have on those, you know? And so they, you know, so then now think about it. Like, what is the fine art? You know, the fine art is digital now, you know? Yep. So, you know, that really hit me. I was like, okay, you know, and Steve Wan, too, is another person that really influenced. He influenced me a lot in this whole metaverse period. He's a big collector of things, you know. So he's explaining, like, we were talking about wearables one day, and he used to collect gangster shit, and so he used to collect like fucking I think Al Capone shit too, but like he would like shit from John Gotti and all these guys, where he used to just random gangster shit he would collect. Right. And he said when Gotti passed away, he sold Gotti shit for ridiculous numbers, you know? So it was like this kind of concept of, I don't know, like rarity and kind of like
scarcity,
telling the story of something, you know? And people see these values in these things and shit, you know what I mean? And so then at the end of that talk, we spoke for a while, and then at the end of it, he was like, yo, buy crypto art. It was like one of those, you know, this is financial advice type shit. You know what I mean? He was like, fucking buy crypto art, dog. Go do it, man.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know, let me look into it. And then I actually, it was kind of like perfect. How do you call that? Like, I don't know.
Synchronicity.
Yeah. He actually had just started making his own crypto art recently, and so I went and bought a bunch of that shit. So that shit's upstairs. It's on like I think the third floor in the building. And I got a bunch of his shit. Yeah. So you know, it's like it all kind of makes sense. You know. And it's so funny, like with him, like I found DCL through watching an interview of his when I didn't know about DCL, so I didn't know anybody, period. And so I saw an interview with him, and I was like, wow, that's so cool. I got it right away. I understood like the concept of DCL, so I was like, I'm buying land. So I'm at work that day, and I go to my man, and I'm like, yo, I'm buying land tonight. And he already knew it was something weird. He's like, whatever, man, but I know that, you know, you always got something up your sleeve, so, like, I fuck with it, you know, I'll see you tomorrow. And so, you know, I bought the land. I came back, I was like, check these out. I got these two little squares right here. See the squares? Those my squares. and then, like, you know, time passes, like, let's say 4 or 5 months pass, and then I started doing interviews. And Steve Wan might have been, like, the 5th interview that I did, you know? So it was cool, like to kind of like came back around.
Yeah.
Same thing with the art and shit. So it's cool, man. I mean, you meet like-minded people in this world. You know what I mean? Wherever they are and whatever situations they are. You know, it's almost similar to like my relationship with like Wu-Tang. Like you know, I've been involved with hip hop my whole life, right? But like never really like big. Just like always DJ'd. When I got older, for some reason, I started rapping. And then I had been DJing a night called Wu-Tang Wednesday for years, you know? And so we just play Wu-Tang and shit like that. And then, so I started linking with Jimmy Kang, who's Capadonna's manager, basically. He's the vice president of Wu-Tang Management, right? And so through 2 degrees, 3 degrees separation or whatever. So I invited him to the night. I'm like, we don't really have bread. We're not out here making bread. It's like, this is like a night. We're having fun, you know? So he's like, yo, this shit is dope, whatever. He came out and he's like, I'm going to have Young Dirty Bastard come out. That's what's up, man. You know what I mean? So this is before he was with he wasn't with the group back then. He was just like a kid. He was like 25 years old or some shit. So he came out, hang out, it was fun. And then that night he's like, yo, I'm going to introduce you to Buddha Monk, who used to be like Old Dirty Bastard's best friend. And so Buddha came up and we had a lot of, had a good time. It was like immediately like he's like, yo, I want this guy to be my DJ. And so we and Buddha started hanging out and talking and I was like, I've been rapping, and she's like, oh, well, come by the house. And so I spent a couple of days at the house after that, and then ever since then, from that moment on, I've always been like tight with them, So
that's dope, dude. Yeah.
Like it works out sometimes. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes everything falls into place and like things work out.
Like
yeah, that's nice, dude. That's dope.
And it's just like, again, it's like like-minded people. It's funny. I seen one of my homies from Connecticut. So I'm originally from Connecticut. And I seen one of my homies, just a street dude, you know what I mean? And he walked in the house, it was like, I don't know, maybe I forget who it was somebody's birthday. I think it might have been Born's birthday. Born is Buddha's older brother, who was like this big deal in Brooklyn back in those days, in the 90s.
Yeah.
So my man, forget his name. But he was a hustler in CT. It actually doesn't matter what his name is. He was a hustler in CT back in the day, right? And he's just a homie, you know what I mean? And he walked in, he's like, of course. He just walked in, he seen me say, of course. You know what I mean? It's that thing. It's like mine, you know what I mean? Because I used to mess with him back in Connecticut and it just, whatever. Like, used to hang out all the time. And then, he walks in, he used to, be with them in Brooklyn. And then he hanging out with me in Connecticut. And he's like, yo, when I was going back to Brooklyn, I'm going to see these guys. And I said, that's funny as hell,
Nice, dude. So, hell yeah. That's dope. That's how things go I just got my first piece of land in CV yesterday. I've been saving for it for hella long. Man. Thanks. Yeah, I got a nice little corner apartment in Proxima. Just literally like a nice stumble across the water to Sugar Club there. So I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, hell
yeah. Yeah. I just got yesterday, put up like a few pieces of art. I gotta either make or do some like furniture shopping and just deck it out. It'll be like, it's cool because I want to have it be like a chill pad or like a place to have little meetings, and then just pour it over to the gallery or to Token Smart or to one of the many other places where we have activities going on.
That's true. Yeah. Because cool. you don't need that necessarily to have the activities in your place since you've already
at least to have a spot to be able to meet at and do whatever, all sorts of stuff can be done through hanging out. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, one thing I wanted to always do was and I don't know if I'll ever have the time for it, but I always wanted to make like a gangster building, like that like, and this is before we had DCL Core, man, but it was like the idea, like we were already kind of like clicking up, me and Will and I-Man and stuff, and I was like, yo, I was calling it the Godfeather building, like not the Godfeather, the Good Feathers. You remember that from the Good Feathers?
Goodfellas,
yeah. No, but Goodfellas. But you remember the Animaniacs show when they had the birds?
Oh yeah.
So the Good Feathers, we're gonna have the Good Feathers building. Yeah. And I always kind of wanted to make something like that, like a gentleman's social club. You know what I'm saying?
That would be cool. Yeah. I mean, there's so much possibility that I imagine there'll be like at some point like gated freaking mansions and like all sorts of craziness.
Yeah.
Have compounds, music studios, all sorts of clubs. Yeah,
man. All right, man. Well, we probably should leave it there.
We've been going for a while. This has been super fun.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah. Always welcome to come by, talk about anything you got going on. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Let me know.
You have to come over on my show at some point too, or on my own little podcast. I will plug tomorrow after the whip. So
Okay,
the whip's
cool,
at
cool.
noon or Pacific, and then 3 hours after, Collectors Hub, same location in the Token Smart Lounge, and it's gonna be me with Coldy, and then we'll hang out for a little bit afterwards with in avatar form and whatever, hang out, take questions, just mess around.
All right, nice. I will. I'll be there for the whip. I got Dap World tomorrow, same time as always, 10 p.m. UTC. So
Nice.
we'll catch up, man. Always good talking to you, Omi. I appreciate you.
Hell yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, definitely.
Peace.
Peace, man.